Hello everyone, welcome to class series, and in this video we're gonna be discussing our question answers of our chapter There is a Girl by the Tracks. So we're gonna be discussing our main of share your responses. In that our first sub main is share your responses number 1. In that our first question is it's a regular scene. What was regular about the scene? Check in paragraph number 1. The answer of this question is in a most populated metropolis like Mumbai, the commuters, which means one who travels to the workplace daily, were more. Evening times they are hurried to go back home, so they rush to board the trains. If they miss the particular train, they are in trouble and gets late to reach their home. So it is a regular scene for those people. No one has time to think about others. Our second question is Roma Talreja tried to settle into a corner near the door in the train. Was she right in doing this? What would you have done if you were there? The answer of this question is no, it's always better to avoid standing near the door. If I were in her place, the first thing I would try to do would be to move into the compartment away from the door. However, it's easier said than done. The trains are so jam-packed that movement is almost impossible, and quite often we expose ourselves to grave danger. Our third question is there is a girl by the tracks. The voices cried out. Whose voices do you think those were? The answer of this question is the voices came from the passengers who stood at the door of the train which was coming from the opposite direction. Our fourth question is Baleshwar was impulsive in taking a decision because dash fill in the blanks appropriately. Check in paragraph number 3. The answer of this question is there is a girl by the tracks. Our fifth question is the dictionary says callous means unconcerned. In this situation, who do you think was callous towards the accident? The answer of this question is the people who saw the scene that Roma had men on the tracks. Though they had seen, they did not volunteer to help her. They were considered as callous towards the accident. Our sixth question is Baleshwar rushed to help the girl. His movement has been described with verbs like shoved. Identify two more such verbs or verbal phrases in a paragraph number 5. The answer of this question is the two more verbal phrases or verbs are number 1 jumped off and number 2 landed on. So this was our share your responses number 1. Let's move on to our second main, that is share your responses number 2. In that our first question is where did Baleshwar find Roma at last? The answer of this question is at last Baleshwar found Roma by the side of the tracks between the two stations approximately 5 kilometers apart. Our second question is बहन जी आप ठीक है, but there was no response and no help in sight. Why was it so? Read paragraph number 6 and answer this question. The answer of this question is Roma had fallen by the railway track while commuting by an electric train, and Baleshwar also had jumped off a still moving train after pulling the chain. Both the trains had moved on with the rest of the passengers as if nothing untoward had happened. Since it was the railway tracks somewhere between two stations which were 5 kilometers apart in Thane district, there weren't people around and there was no help in sight. Roma couldn't answer the question as she had blacked out after the fall because of a gash in the head. Our third question is fill in the blanks with appropriate details. So different kinds of categories are given such as name, age, education, state they belongs to, their profession, reason for boarding the train. And there are two peoples, they are Roma and Baleshwar Mishra. So the answer is age 21 years and 20 years. Education graduate and high school dropout. State Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh, UP in short. Profession, working in call center. Unemployed, back to home, back to home. So let's move on to our next main, that is share your responses number 3. In that, our first question is, who volunteered to help Baleshwar? The answer of this question is the middle-aged tempo truck driver who spoke Gujarati volunteered to help Baleshwar. Our second question is, Roma stayed and her eyes fluttered open. What could have made her react so? The answer of this question is Roma was shifted to back of the tempo truck with Baleshwar. She lay on the seat. When the vehicle moved unsteadily, it made her stare and her eyes fluttered open. Our third question is, some details of the Roma's brother are given in paragraph number 14. Read and fill in the columns appropriately. We have subcategories like name, job, place and vehicle. The person name is Dinesh Talreja as the brother of Roma Talreja. Now, the answer of this question is his job is marketing job. The place where he lives is Ulhasnagar. The vehicle what he have is motorcycle. So let's go ahead with the last main, which is also our share your responses number 4. In that, our first question is, oh, I couldn't thank him. Baleshwar thought, who do you think he couldn't thank? The answer of this question is Baleshwar couldn't thank the tempo truck driver because he was busy to admit Roma to the hospital and spoke with Dr. Anil Agarwal. Our second question is, why did Baleshwar revisit the spot where Roma had fallen? The answer of this question is Baleshwar revisited the spot to find out Roma's belongings. Dinesh told him that her mobile phone and handbag were missing. Our third question is, Baleshwar got some assurance from a railway employee. What was that? The answer of this question is, when he was looking for belongings at the spot where Roma had fallen, a railway employee assured that Roma's belongings had been found already. Our last question of this chapter and of main of share your responses number 4 is fourth question, that is Roma said, I think it's astonishing. What was astonishing? The answer of this question is the manner in which she had been rescued was astonishing. According to Roma, it was astonishing because a stranger would jump off a train and risk his life for her. She was also a stranger to him.